In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the rear caliper on this Hyundai Santa Fe. Let's get started. Now with a 21mm socket, remove all 5 of your lug nuts and then pull the wheel off. Remove the wheel. With a 12mm socket or wrench, loosen up the banjo bolt so that it can be broken free for later on when the caliper is not mounted. It'll be easiest to do it now. Once it's broken free, snug it up so no brake fluid leaks. Obviously don't tighten it too much, but just snug it enough to not leak any brake fluid. Now we can disassemble the brakes and swap over our caliper. Now use a 14mm wrench or socket and remove the 2 bolts that hold the caliper onto the bracket. With these off, you should be able to easily remove the caliper. It's not good to let it hang by the brake hose, so I'm just going to put it right over this control arm. That should hold it on nicely. Let's remove the brake pads. Just slide them right out. They should not be very stuck in here. The 2 14mm headed caliper bracket bolts are here and right here. You don't necessarily have to pull the control arm off. If you have a wrench, that'll get in here. That's how I'm going to do it. Once again, 14mm, break them both free. I'm not going to completely remove this one, just going to unthread it a little bit. This will make sure to hold the caliper bracket in place while I loosen that one. Stick a wrench down here. It's going to be very tight, so it'll be about 1/8 of a turn at a time, unfortunately. Now continue removing both of the bolts on the caliper bracket. Once broken free with a wrench, you should be able to get some needle nose pliers in here and just slowly turn the bolt. Looks like I got it pretty much all the way out. I can spin it by hand. Caliper bracket is loose, and you should have just enough clearance to remove this bracket without removing the rotor. On the new caliper, we have to prep it for installation. That's going to entail a few different things. First one is going to be to lubricate the area where the anti-rattle clips sit, and I'm going to use some silicone paste. You can use brake grease if you want. If you're using silicone paste, make sure it's rated for brakes so that it can withstand higher temperatures and not melt away as the brakes heat up. Just put a thin layer, that'll do. If you put too much, it's actually going to squish out into the middle here where the rotor rides. Now take your new anti-rattle clips and press them down. You're going to want to lock them in nice and tight here. They have 2 little clips that lock down in the middle. You'll hear that popping noise as you press it. That's locked on tight, and do the same to the other side. Now I like to inspect and lubricate the slider pins. I know that often they already come with some grease, but I like to make sure that it's enough. In my opinion, I would like to add more, especially inside the boot here. So I'm going to use that same silicone paste, add a little bit inside the boot. That's going to act as a reserve of grease as the brakes operate over time. And the rest I will add to the slider pin. I know I'm mixing 2 different greases, but they are both rated for the same thing, so it'll be okay. Slide this in. As you can see, it bounces back. That means there's air stuck in there. So press this in, squeeze the boot. That should get most of the air out. I don't expect it to sit all the way flush into the caliper bore, but as long as there's no air, that should be perfectly fine. As you can see, I was able to squeeze most of it out. Wipe it off and do the same to the other one. Now grab your caliper bracket, slide it over. I have my top bolt ready. The bottom one is pretty much lined up. I'm going to try and get it started if I can. And I think I got it actually. Yep, that's locked in. So I'm going to start in the top one as well now. Move this around to line it up. I cannot torque that bottom one. I will, however, of course, torque the top one. So I'm going to get them both snugged up, and then we'll grab the torque wrench for this one. For the bottom one, if you have a long wrench with some decent leverage, it should be good enough because the torque isn't that high. Let's bottom these out. I got that one snugged up. And let's get this one snugged up as well. Sometimes this top slider pin is in the way of your wrench if this is how you're doing it. And just be careful of the boot so that you don't smack it with the side of your wrench and accidentally tear it. Okay, I got them both snugged up. This one is ready to be tightened, so I'm just going to tighten it up nice and tight with my long wrench here. Like I said, I have decent leverage. The torque for these is between 47 and 54 foot-pounds. I'm going to torque them to 50. Now that this bottom one is completely tightened, nice and tight with my wrench, I'm going to tighten the top one to 50 foot-pounds. All right, those are both nice and tight. Install the pads. The inner pad had a wear indicator. I'm going to put that on the bottom. Slide it into the caliper. Sometimes you have to push these anti-rattle clips slightly out of the way, but the pad should slide on and then move around smoothly. If it's bound up, something isn't seated right. So check everything. Do the same to the outer pad. Both are perfect. So now let's grab the caliper and put it right over that bracket. Start in the 2 new bolts. The torque for these is between 16 and 23 foot-pounds, so I'm going to just go for 20 foot-pounds right about in the middle. These are also 14 millimeter in size. If your slider pin spins when you try to torque it, you can hold it with a wrench or some pliers. If you use pliers, be very careful not to tear the boot. That's it right there. Let's move over the brake hose. Have a collection bucket ready because as soon as we unbolt this, it's going to start dripping, and then we'll quickly do the transfer. Remove the banjo bolt from the new caliper. Try not to drop it. Leave one copper washer on. I'm going to save the other one because it's going to go over the hose. The old banjo bolt was, like I said at the beginning, a 12 millimeter in size. Finish breaking this free and removing it. Remove the hose from the caliper. Let that caliper drain into a collection bucket, and then take the banjo bolt out of this hose. Make sure there are no washers left on the hose. Oh, that one just fell off, so that's perfect. Inspect the hose. It looks great. If it is in poor condition, consider replacing it. Then I'm going to put the new banjo bolt with a washer through that hose. Then on the other side of it, I'm going to put another new copper washer, basically sandwich the hose right in the middle. And then I'm going to start this on the new caliper. The hose has a little tab on here that needs to line up with a hole that's cut out in the caliper. Start this on by hand to make sure it doesn't cross thread. Once that's done, bottom it out. This new one is an 11 millimeter in size. Once it's snug, let's torque it. The torque on this banjo bolt is between 18 and 21 foot-pounds. I'm going to go for 21 because it's within spec and it's on the higher end of that range. And basically what you're aiming to do is to crush those 2 copper washers. That's what's going to make a nice tight seal. That's 21 right there. Now let's crack open the bleeder screw and let gravity pull fluid through. Use an 11 millimeter wrench or socket. Crack this bleeder screw open. If yours happens to have a cover on it, a little boot, remove it. And now let's do a gravity bleed, which means letting gravity pull fluid down into the caliper through the hose and out the bleeder screw. Once you see no more air bubbles coming out with the gravity bleed, you can perform a manual brake bleed. I have a steady trickle of fluid. I'm going to close this off and then perform my manual brake bleed. Make this nice and snug. Once you're done, clean everything off so that you don't confuse the residual for a potential brake fluid leak. If you have one, hopefully you do, put the little boot back on to the bleeder screw. This prevents it from getting clogged up. Install the wheel. Thread on all 5 of your lug nuts by hand. We'll bottom them out in a cross pattern, and then also in a cross pattern, you're going to want to torque these. The torque on these is between 65 and 80 foot-pounds. I'm just going to go for 80. That way they're nice and tight and it's still within spec. So let's snug them up in a cross pattern. 80 foot-pounds in a cross pattern. Double check them. There you go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.